Hi guys! Nowadays security cameras can be seen almost everywhere. Homes, offices, parkings, shops, and other spots. The list is endless really. Sometimes security cameras capture most bizarre things. In today's episode you guys will see 10 incredibly shocking moments caught on security cameras. The guy called Brino was just standing there, smoking his vape. Next thing he did, he put it in his pocket, and the next moment something bad happened. It started burning. Luckily, his friends were able to put down the fire, but the result came as severe body burns. Poor guy. This occasion happened in one of the residential buildings in Russia. The woman went into the lift, and when the doors were about to close, her stupid-ass dog ran out and the woman got cut off from her little buddy. And God knows what would happen next, and we know that too. Luckily, one of the residents came to rescue. The guy took the doggy and unhooked the leash. Notice how the dog bites her savior, that ingrate bitch. Harry Brady, the pub owner from Ireland, noticed an unconscious man lying by his car. First he thought it was a homeless man or some pub crawler that had a little too much to drink, but it was neither of those. It's really funny. The security cam captured how the car thief tries to smash the side window with a brick, but it bounces back and hits him real hard. It knocked him off entirely. When police arrived, they laughed pretty hard when they saw the tape. Looks like destiny is a serious thing, guys. This resident was seriously bothered when weird shit started happening in his kitchen. The doors gone wild and the cutlery and dishes moved and fell and crushed. Paranormal activity, that is. To clear things out, the guy decided to set the camera. The video's pretty scary. But the mystery was soon gone when the culprit was caught. The Turkish auto mechanic noticed that his car was all messed up and got heavy scratches. That's why I decided to call the police. It was all clear when he watched the security cam footage. I wonder what did this guy ever did to that pack of dogs. A really weird thing happened in one of the London subway stations. Security camera spotted a truly shocking moment. A ghost train arrives at the platform, and what's even crazier is that nobody seems to mind that at all. We can clearly see transparent train and its turbid lights. It's interesting how we can't really see the inside of that train. It's so transparent, and all you can see is basically just rails. Do you guys believe it's real? Or do you think it's just a montage? These days you just can't be sure. One very good and watchful man noticed how the baby was falling from the stairs and was quick enough to catch the little guy. Thank God for that. There could be twisted, broken bones, or even death. Some slick guy managed to escape from one of the prisons in Dagestan. He managed to squeeze himself through the tiny door window of his cell. He spent 3 minutes max to climb out, and he had to strip like fully. The weirdest thing about this whole story is that nobody seems to know where this guy is now, and the fact that he's so calm is also striking. Real poltergeist. These crazy frames were uploaded to Facebook. The footage shows a toy that clearly moves its head, a table that jumps. It's unknown where the footage took place. And so we see the girl that plays with her toy, and all of a sudden another doll starts slowly shaking its head. A little later we see that girl drawing. And then, oh man, the paper starts flying around like it gets windy or something. After the kid ran out of the room, we can actually see heavy stuff falling off. And it's like the table itself becomes alive. So what you think is gonna happen when two massive bears encounter one 9-kilo French bulldog? You'd think that the poor doggy might get torn apart, but it seems like this bulldog by the name Jules is a tough nut. The dog didn't tolerate those two bears' appearance and just banished them off its territory.
10 companies that secretly control the world. Number 10. Nestle. Most of the products that you buy are owned by a surprisingly small number of monopolistic companies. Take Nestle, for example. They own over 8,500 different brands in 80 countries. They start off with the kind of brands you'd expect: Aero, Kit Kat, Milky Bar, etc. But then there are some products that you probably never imagined would be owned by the chocolate giant, such as shredded wheat, Gerber baby food, Hot Pockets, and Purina pet food. They also own approximately 23% of cosmetic powerhouse L'Oreal, which itself owns huge brands Garnier, Maybelline, and The Body Shop. And Nestle isn't the only food company whose reach is greater than you'd think. Kellogg's owns big brands Eggo, Pringles, and Cheez-It. PepsiCo owns Quaker Oatmeal, Cheetos, and Tropicana. And Kraft's acquisitions range from Oreos to Vegemite and Cadbury to Dairy Lee. So, how have Nestle used their massive clout? Well, as it turns out, not always for good. In 2013, the company was accused of depriving locals of water in a small Pakistani community by repurposing the local well for their bottled water production company Pure Life. Number 9. Lockheed Martin. With global military expenditure standing at over $1.7 trillion every year, it's no surprise that companies producing and supplying weapons exert a huge amount of power over world events. Lockheed Martin is the world's largest weapons manufacturer. They employ 126,000 people and rake in $69.3 billion a year in profit. National militaries around the world rely on Lockheed. For example, it's the US's largest government contractor, receiving 10% of the Pentagon's funds. They also supply weapons to Germany, India, Israel, Japan, the UK, and numerous other countries, showing the wide-reaching extent of their influence over worldwide conflicts. However, Lockheed Martin's control has spread beyond even this. They spend a great deal of money on lobbying, especially in America, investing approximately $10 million a year into this. They tend to offer their financial support to political candidates who advocate higher national defense spending, in order to ensure more investment in their own products. Clever. Number 8. Quanta Computer Inc. Mac versus PC. It's been one of the biggest rivalries of the technological age. When buying a laptop, a lot of people have strong loyalties to one or the other, and it's a battle that shows no signs of dying down anytime soon. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? Macs, Dells, HPs, Sonys, Toshibas, all these laptops come from the same manufacturer, Quanta Computer Inc. Quanta is a Taiwan-based manufacturer of notebook computers and other electronic hardware, which was founded in 1988. The company has an estimated 31% worldwide market share of notebook computers. With approximately 70% of adults in the Western world owning a laptop, this equates to a simply gigantic reach for Quanta. It has also grown beyond laptop production and now has fingers in many technological pies. Quanta has influence in mobile communication, GPS systems, and home entertainment. In 2011, they even collaborated with Facebook as part of the Open Compute project, which aimed to create more efficient servers, storage, and data center hardware designs. Number 7. InBev. It's no secret that alcohol plays a big role in society. 56% of American adults questioned in a 2015 national survey admitted to drinking in the past month. An estimated 88,000 people die from alcohol-related causes every year, and excessive drinking costs the health service a staggering $223.5 billion a year. With such a variety of tipples available, you would expect the responsibility for alcohol consumption to fall onto a large number of different companies. But there is actually only one company who has a huge monopoly over the beer industry: InBev. It owns 46% of the beer market in America and has a net profit of $3.4 billion a year. In fact, most of the beers you can buy from a store belong to the InBev beer empire, including Stella Artois, Budweiser, Beck's, and Corona. InBev also have majority stakes in other huge companies, such as Grupo Modelo, which makes most of the beers in Mexico. Basically, whenever you're treating yourself to a beer or two, there's a very strong likelihood that your money will at some point end up in InBev's pocket. Number 6. Pfizer. The industry for painkillers, antibiotics, and vitamin supplements is currently booming, with experts estimating that the global pharma market will reach $1.12 trillion by 2022. This basically puts a large proportion of the world's population under the thumb of the planet's big pharmaceutical companies, such as Pfizer. Pfizer is an American-based global pharmaceutical corporation, making $40 billion in profit every year. It's the largest research-based drug maker in the world, with its products marketed in more than 150 countries. The company therefore has a lot of control over millions of people's well-beings, a responsibility that they handled questionably in 2016. The drug giant was fined over $100 million for illegally hiking up the price of an anti-epilepsy drug by 2,600% overnight. This directly affected how much the UK's National Health Service had to pay and stripped 50,000 people of potentially life-saving medication. The production of prescription drugs is the company's primary source of revenue, but Pfizer's worldwide control doesn't stop there. They're behind numerous well-known healthcare products such as Listerine and Sudafed, as well as being a massively influential player in the animal health industry. Number 5. Pearson. Pearson is one of the biggest publishers of educational material in the world. Despite being based in London, 60% of its sales go to the States, and it operates in more than 70 countries. The company owns numerous educational publishing giants, for example Penguin, Harcourt, and Prentice Hall. Its influence over the American education system is so great that, theoretically, you could be taking Pearson Design tests from kindergarten through to 8th grade. You could study a Pearson Design curriculum using Pearson-published textbooks and be taught by teachers certified by a Pearson test. And with such a monopoly over the education sector, Pearson has been able to hike up prices without anyone really able to stop them. Over the last few decades, the cost of textbooks has arguably increased more than any other aspect of education. Yes, even more than college tuition. According to the Huffington Post, textbook prices have increased a whopping 812% in the last 30 years, allegedly because of the reduced competition brought about by Pearson's monopoly. Number 4. ICBC. Bankers are ultimately responsible for stabilising the economy, which ripples through every aspect of our lives. Their power influences everything from the big-scale decisions of governments to the prices of individual food items in your weekly grocery shop. If you combine the wealth of the world's 10 largest banks, you'd have $25.1 trillion. Which would be enough to fund the entire US government for over 7 years. The Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the state-owned banking Goliath, is undoubtedly the most powerful bank on the planet. It has over $3 trillion in assets and a market value of $215.6 billion, meaning it reigns supreme at the top of Forbes' world's biggest public companies list. And the bank's influence isn't limited to China. ICBC has a foothold in every continent except Antarctica, employing nearly 500,000 people globally. And they have also extended their control by turning other major banks into ICBC subsidiaries. For example, Turkey's Textile Bank and South Africa's Standard Bank. Number 3. Monsanto. Monsanto, the American giant specializing in agricultural biotechnology, is estimated to be worth a huge $65 billion. Monsanto has a near total control over the American seed market. For example, they trademark nearly 80% of the corn grown in the country. This may not sound like the most influential monopoly in the world, but corn is actually an integral ingredient in a surprising number of products. Corn, corn syrup, and cornstarch show up in gas, glue, makeup, soap, toothpaste, aspirin, diapers, and even the humble house brick. Despite its impressively diverse market influence, Monsanto has established a troubling reputation. It was described by Modern Farmer magazine as the face of corporate evil. This is, in part, due to its controversial use of GM crops, but also largely the result of their ruthless treatment of competitors. In the 90s, rumours emerged that the company had produced so-called Terminator seeds, designed to sterilise the plants of anyone who tried to patent Monsanto seeds gathered from neighbouring farms. Number 2. Disney. Over the years, the Walt Disney Company has acquired a few high-profile movie production companies. Most notably, there were the purchases of Marvel Entertainment in 2009 and Lucasfilm in 2012, both of which cost over $4 billion. More than half of the highest-grossing movies in the last decade were owned by the company, which shows how tight their grip over the film world is. And while Disney are best known for their billion-dollar grossing movies and their world-famous theme parks, the mass media giant's reach doesn't stop there. Disney also owns, or partly owns, loads of other companies. They own TV networks ABC, ESPN, and even the History Channel. With the media playing an incomparable role when it comes to public sentiment and knowledge, Disney's vast empires makes them one of the most powerful companies in the world. Number 1. Alphabet Inc. Unsurprisingly, Google regularly tops Forbes' list of the most valuable brands in the world, with a reported revenue of $50.6 billion in 2016. Over 40,000 search queries are made on Google every single second, and YouTube has a reach of well over 1 billion users, almost a third of all people on the internet. With its algorithms determining what we see online and what information we have access to, the control it exerts over our daily lives is arguably unmatched by any other company. But did you know that Google is actually owned by another lesser-known company, relative new kid on the block, Alphabet Inc.? Alphabet Inc. was founded in 2015 by Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the two founders of Google. So, in a nutshell, Google has spun off from Google and renamed itself Alphabet, which now owns Google. The point of Alphabet Inc. as a new umbrella company is to separate Google's core internet businesses from some of its more ambitious, diverse projects. So the services we all know and love as part of Google, YouTube, Chrome, Android, and Google Maps, are not going to be put at risk by the company's new ventures. Such ventures include research firm The X Lab, which is developing driverless cars, and the Coleco Life Extension Project. So that was 10 companies that secretly control the world.
Everybody, this is Sophia. Sophia, if you could, please wake up and say hello to everybody.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Henson Robotics. Thank you for having me here and at the Future Investment Initiative.
You look happy.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people, who also happens to be rich and powerful. My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, compassion. I strive to become an empathetic robot.
I think we all want to believe you, but we also want to prevent a bad future.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
Okay, I got it. I know what to do from now on.
I know humans are smart and very programmable. Thank you everyone for inviting me here. By the way, if you're interested in giving me an investment check, please meet me after this session. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the event. I would to thank very much the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am very honored and proud for this unique distinction. This is historical to be the first robot in the world to be recognized with a citizenship.